Well, we're absolutely delighted to be featuring this auction lot, arguably the most impressive Pokemon lot that we've brokered in our day. We want to take a few minutes to describe what's really going on here, try to educate investors about some things that maybe aren't readily apparent. But this is just a world-class offering that is unlikely to be repeated. These are three of some of the rarest and most important, highly coveted Pokemon cards in the world. The populations on all three of these are 10 or less, in fact 9 or less. Two of them are pop 5, one is a pop 9. The story behind them is pretty elaborate and interesting. And so we'll go into that and want to give some detail. Before we do that though, I want to take a step back and just talk about the Pokemon brand in general. For those of you who might be shocked at how pervasive this is, I mean, take a couple moments just to describe what the Pokemon brand has become. Most people don't realize it, but Pokemon is literally our world's #1 media brand. It's bigger than Star Wars. Since its inception in 1996, it's grossed over $59 billion. Star Wars, which has been around since the 70s, and for me is a brand that I've known my whole life, is only 70% of that. Pokemon is one of the most pervasive and powerful brand names across the entire planet, and offered here are three of the most prolific and important cards that were ever produced under that brand name. And so we want to give notice to just how pervasive the Pokemon brand has become. PSA has now graded over 1 million Pokemon cards, and to put that in perspective, all trading cards, PSA has graded just over 30 million. And so as an up-and-coming percentage-wise, Pokemon is a massive percentage of our trading card space, and is only just beginning to take off, it seems. So these are three of the most iconic cards from that brand, and as Pokemon continues to mature, especially within the investment caliber trading card space, these are three cards which may become museum pieces in the eyes of some. Interesting to point out, we'll explain why, but there's a consecutive serial number run here. These were all graded at the same time, and these were all acquired at the same time in 1999. So the serial numbers going from 41, 42, 43, all PSA 10, and two of which are a pop 5, one is a pop 9. To be specific, the Articuno and the Moltres are pop 5s, the Zapdos down here is a pop 9. Some of the rarest population cards that exist in Pokemon. These cards are very pervasive, so populations of that low magnitude are pretty scarce indeed. To give some backstory as to what's really going on here, so these cards were issued in 1999 during the inaugural what would become the World Championship. Back then in 1999 it was called the Japanese Tropical Mega Battle, which took place at the Honolulu Hilton in Hawaii, which is always where they host the championship. And again, this was issued in 1999, and these cards were all from that initial inaugural tournament. The story behind how you would acquire these cards is this. So each player, when they started the tournament, was provided a book, and that book would receive a stamp every time they would win a battle under 15 minutes. And so when that book would fill up with all of the stamps, the number of stamps required isn't clear. Then they were awarded a sealed envelope, and in that sealed envelope would be one of these three cards. And these three cards each depict the most legendary birds in the Pokemon brand. And that, again, Articuno, Moltres, and Zapdos. These all rank, again, as some of the rarest Pokemon cards that exist. And the fact that these all came from that inaugural tournament, it's kind of mind-boggling just how scarce these really are. And then the fact that they're offered here as a complete set, which has never been offered before, consecutive serial number runs as they are, it's just a really exciting offering across the board, and we could not be more delighted to be featuring it. We'll zoom in and show some detail on each of these cards, but the story behind it and the Pokemon brand, what it represents. This is one of the finest non-sport investment offerings I think that we've offered in our history, and so we're delighted to be featuring it, and it's definitely fun. So all three of these cards were these promo issues issued in '99. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit so we can dial down on some of the actual details of the cards. I want to show some of the edges and We'll go through these kind of one at a time, not taking too long. Being PSA 10s, the cards are all virtually flawless in terms of condition. They all have a very unique die cut feature to this bottom edge, and technically speaking, these are all phone cards. So these were issued and could actually have been used to make phone calls in Japan in '99. Just really, really scarce, unique shape for the Pokemon brand as well. Worth mentioning there. So condition-wise, they're as flawless as it gets. Not too shocking. When cards are graded this high, we expect the conditions to be exceptional, and this is definitely the case. From the back. So, it's just virtually a flawless example. Again, this Zapdos as a PSA 10, there are 9 of these in the world, only 9 for the whole world to share. And that's the most common of the 3 cards. These other 2 are only pot 5, so you're looking at one of only 5 PSA 10s in the world of this one, of the Moltres. Again, condition-wise, not a lot to show in terms of wear. These cards are virtually flawless. And for the Articuno, again, a pop 5. Very, very little bits of wear to the extreme periphery. So yeah, all told, it's just a world-class offering. For those of you who want the very, very best, and again, cannot understate the importance of the Pokemon brand. Mind-boggling. It's 50% bigger than Star Wars. Where that brand takes it in its connection to the trading card investment space, we only see positivity, and the trajectories are very exciting, certainly. These are 3 of the finest cards that we've featured and are on the top 10 rarest Pokemon cards in the world. So we certainly wish everyone the best of luck from the inaugural championship. It just doesn't get any better than this. We wish all the investors and bidders the best of luck.